Welcome to Fearless and Focused. I'm Brooke.
And I'm Casey.
And we're here to share bold stories, real talk,
and strategies to help you push past fear and level up.
Let's get fearless and focused.
Welcome, everyone. We are super excited for another episode of Fearless and Focused with my favorite co-host, Brooke Brolo. And we are excited today. We not only have one guest for you, we have two. We have double, duo, treble. So let me just dive in. I want to do a little intro. I know this isn't going to do nearly enough to all the accolades that you ladies are doing and making a difference out there in the world, but InspiHER'd is a podcast hosted by Samantha Tradelius and Stacey Fleece, two longtime friends who juggle careers, motherhood, and running the Sparkle Foundation, which is absolute. Like, I am mind blown by the Sparkle Foundation. They just had their Christmas kind of annual thing last weekend. They served 97 families. They gave 97 families Christmas for this year. Their show InspiHER'd Grown Up Girl Talk features weekly episodes that dive into issues important to women, blending humor, vulnerability, and authenticity, which is right up me and Brooke's alley. So we are so excited to have you here today, ladies.
Thanks for having us. We're
Thank
excited
you
to
for
be
letting us be here.
Yes. So excited to kind of launch everything with you ladies. I can't think of anyone better.
Let's go. We're game on, baby.
We're just coming up for air from the holiday gift drive. It was exhausting, but the best ever. But boy, does it take it out of us, Samantha. Am I wrong?
I know she held up her little calendar thing that says December 13th. What is it? Good effing luck. Yeah.
It's
the day after, right? The day after you have like that, charity drive hangover from all the work and you just hit a wall.
It's kind of like a wedding, right? You plan and plan and plan, and then it's like it happens, and then you're just like, what just happened? And then you're like, as we get older, I think it takes longer to recover.
It's December 13th, and I have not even bought a tree yet because it was just gift drive, and then it's been like catch my breath, and now I'm like, shoot, what do I have? I have less than 2 weeks till Christmas.
You need to get it together.
12 days.
Yeah,
I just realized it's Friday the 13th too.
It's bad. It's a bad situation in my world right now.
Well, let's dive in. I love everything you ladies stand for. I listen to your podcast. I'm always inspired. I watch you. I have no idea how you're doing what you're doing, but it's like me and Brooke are both like, please show us your ways. We're so excited to do this podcast as a duo, and you guys have been doing that. And you've done over 200 episodes now together, right?
Yeah, we're getting into season 5.
Goals, Casey. Goals right here. We're looking at y'all going, okay, teach us your ways.
Yes. Well, we started it as a COVID fun project. I mean, really it started because it was COVID and we were all locked in our houses and we missed each other, and we knew we had a lot of amazing friends and we just wanted to talk to our friends. And Samantha said, we should do a podcast. I'm like, cool. We don't even know what that means or how to do that or like what's involved. And she's like, I don't know, let's just figure it out. And so really it just started as an opportunity to interview our friends who are doing really cool shit. Can I say that on this podcast?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Just doing good things and don't always have the platform to talk about the good things, or don't really put themselves out there to talk about the good things they're doing and the amazing things they're doing. And it just sort of grew. And here we are 5 years later, still going.
And we've gone like international. We've interviewed women all over the world, like doing the most incredible things. And it's every story is like this crazy meandering journey to become the woman that they are. And nobody's path is simple. And if it is simple, then they're lying.
I was telling Casey, right? I was telling Casey before you got on, I was like, I listened to one of your episodes and you guys had someone, it was like Dr. Cornelia or some, I was like, oh my gosh, the energy guru lady. I was like, I need this lady in my life. And I was sitting there going, me too, and hearing all the same things. And because you guys are like such high caliber women, you do so much. You have careers, you're moms, you have a charity, you have a podcast, like all the things. And I do a lot too, but I'm looking at y'all going, damn, I'm already tired. Like, how do you juggle all of it? I mean, I get asked this all the time too, because I do a lot. And if there's a spare moment, I'm like, sure, I'll put some shit in there and fill it up. But how do you juggle it all and still find time for yourself? Or do you find time for yourself? Because I have an issue with that. Y'all help everything you guys are doing, your podcast, your Sparkle Foundation, they're for other people. Like, are you finding time for yourself? Are you doing
Fleece,
it?
I'll let you take that one to begin.
How are we juggling it? I'll answer for myself to tell you that I'm not. It's all a facade. So, how social media is like fake. Like you look at social media, you're like, oh my God, they have it together. Well, we don't. But, it's interesting. You said that Sparkle Foundation and the podcast are for others. I truly believe that it's as much for us as it is for others, that we do it as much for ourselves as we want to give that to others. Like I said, the podcast started as just an opportunity to talk to our friends. And so for me to be able to meet these amazing women doing amazingly cool shit from all over the world is really meaningful and uplifting to me. So the fact that we get to share it, though, is just an extra added bonus. But it's a juggle every day. You get up in the morning, you're like, okay, what has to be tackled today? What needs to be done today? And the time we find for ourselves is in the work we're doing as much as it is the things we're carving out for ourselves.
I like it as buckets of time, right? Every day looks different. It's a juggling act of all sorts. And you have no idea what like flaming grenade's going to come on your desk too, just to like to mix it up a little bit. And I think at the end of the day, it's about when you go to bed at night, do you feel like you did something purposeful or important? And, some days you feel like a hero and some not so great. Um, but I do think the work of purpose is a firm driver for both of us and every move that we make, whether it's in our business, our family, our sparkle, all that stuff.
And that so comes through everything that you guys do, that purpose. And this is what I love about you two, is that your message, because you say this often on your podcast, your message is work-life balance is bullshit. It doesn't exist. Quit. And I was guilty of this. Like when I started my women's community, I wanted to be all pink and fluffy and work-life balance and all that. And it's like that. No, it's not that. So I'm trying to transition into, it's okay to be hard, to be big, to go hard, to go all in, for it to be messy. That's how you make impacts and changes in the world. So how did you let ladies get to that message of like, it doesn't really exist and screw it, we're not following that?
I think, when you go to bed and you feel like shit because you haven't accomplished all the things. And I had like little kids and I was running an insurance agency and sparkling and doing all these things. I just said, this is not a way to live my life. This is not how I want to live my life. And so I just kind of said, I'm going to do what I can do. And no one's going to die tomorrow if they don't get their certificate of insurance. Okay. I mean, they might not be able to close their loan, but those people, and someone else's crisis doesn't always need to be my emergency. And that was a lot of like how life, as an entrepreneur is. And so I just think that when you make a decision on how you want to show up and how you want to live, everything kind of shifts and changes. Not by any means that we have it all figured out, because believe me, Stacey and I have many a conversation every week about how we don't have it all figured out, but we do the best we can. And, I think the work-life balance conversation is always one that's great. And tend to think it's like a lot of guys. They always, well, how do you do it? And and I'm like, women, we just do. We invented that playbook. Like, we got it.
Yeah, I think talking to so many women over 5 years, you come to the realization that there is no work-life balance. That anyone who wants to live in that world, just keep living in your fantasy castle, and like that's fine. But it's all good. It's all a facade, and you'll figure it out eventually. But I think there's beauty and accomplishment in chaos. And once you sort of get to that point in your mind where it doesn't always have to be pretty and pink and fluffy and perfect. Chaos. I don't love chaos. I hate drama, but sometimes we operate that way daily, and it's okay. Are we getting it done? It may be fucking messy, but if we're crossing the finish line, it's it's getting you where you need to be.
I always say we run a tight ship, but it's kind of like a pirate ship. It's a little unruly, it's a little messy. There's a guy with, like, one leg and one eye and his eye patched, that's kind of who we are. We get it done.
We're walking the plank occasionally, but as long as we're not jumping off.
Somebody has scurvy, it's fine. It's not a big deal.
Oh, I love it. I said the same thing, like, to Casey. I'm like, and I spoke on work-life balance. If you remember, Samantha, you were there in June in Denver. And I was like, what am I going to talk about? I was like, you know what? I'm just going to talk about the real thing. Like, there's not, like, I don't eat. I will hold my pee, like, all the things. Like, there's no winning ticket to it. It's like just finding, a lopsided balance. Like, what are your priorities? Like, what do you have to get done and what can be, like, checked off to the next thing? Because you just can't be all things to all people all of the time. And when you come to realize like that, you're like, okay, there is no perfect work-life balance. You're never going to find it. You just got to prioritize and then find time for yourself too, so you can reset. Because my problem that I haven't is because I run 1,000 miles an hour all the time until I hit the brick wall. And then I'm dead. And like, I need to like lay in the bed and like, don't talk to me and like watch mindless bullshit like Housewives of, my husband's like, why are you watching that? I'm like, because it's easy. I don't have to follow along. Like, I just am like watching these crazy ladies,
They're
and
crazier.
it like resets me. But I wish I could find some type of, maybe 500 miles an hour instead of 1,000 or 0, like some happy medium. So I'm still working on myself on that. So
I always remember you were double booking Brooke. That was
yes. Double booking Brooke. Yes, I totally have that name.
And don't you think that there's like some power and some freedom of just kind of like releasing that, just being like, okay, like it doesn't really exist. I'm just going to release that and just do me and do what I'm passionate about. And then it's almost like that stuff just kind of starts falling into place and it doesn't feel so heavy.
Yeah, once you get okay with the fact that it doesn't exist and you stop trying to strive for something that you'll never get, there is power in that. And you just, you hit your big rocks every day, but your big rocks are going to be different every day. And get the big ones out of the way and then fill in with what you have after that. And no one's dying. No one's gonna, like, we're all gonna be here tomorrow. The sun is gonna come up tomorrow. But yeah, there is a good feeling in the realization that we should stop striving for something that does not exist.
But it's kind of the grown-ass woman moment. When you like become this grown-ass woman, you're like, you know what? I don't give a shit. I'm gonna manage the chaos and what I can do right now. And whatever that looks like out here, we no longer care about what people think. And that's I think it's coming into your own, and some of us take longer to get there than others.
I know. I saw something several years ago and it was like Mel Robbins and she had posted it and it was like, here's the secret. Like, when you stop giving a shit what other people think, you're going to have and live a much happier life. And I was like, yeah. And I don't know if it's like, because I am getting older, I'm in my late 40s and I'm like, or I'm just so worn out. I'm like, I just don't care. Like, if you don't like me, that's okay. Like, I have enough friends. Cool. If you don't want to be my friend, if we don't connect, if we do, great. But like, I just, I just kind of let that go. And it feels so empowering to just let it go and not worry and think about another thing. Cause you can't please everybody. Not going to happen. Nor do you want to. Jeez.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's shift a minute because I do want to make sure that we have time to talk about your amazing foundation.
Yes.
Because that deserves a spotlight and some recognition for the work that you ladies do. Tell us about Sparkle Foundation. How did it become what it is, and what have you done with it this year?
Stacey, would you like to take that one?
I think you talk about how it launched.
Yeah.
It's your launch.
Yeah, Sparkle is it's like being in the mob.
Can I be in the mob? Can I be in the mob with y'all? I want to be in the mob with y'all.
All of the board this season was like, my husband or my significant other's really having a tough time with all the stuff and all that. I'm like, yeah, you're either with us or you're not. That's how it goes around here. No, Sparkle started, Sparkle will be 9 in January, and the work started about 21 years ago, in gifting single moms Christmas as a legacy to my single mom grandma, who was a single mom to my dad, my aunt, and my uncle in the 1950s, in an era that did not embrace or appreciate the single moms. The program started with just me, my family friends buying gifts for moms. First family was like 2 or 3, then it was 4 or 5, and then by 2015, we had 17 families out of my living room, and I was raising like $35,000, and it was pretty apparent, like, okay, we were doing good things, we could do more, but, like, why not start a nonprofit? Because I needed something else to do and knew a whole bunch about that sector. So ripped that Band-Aid off and went for it, having no idea what I was doing. Formed a board and away we went. So we've been Fleece was sparkling before we were officially Sparkle, and many of the people that are involved have been around for 20 years. This last year, we did more than we've ever done. We did 97 families. So as you can imagine, the journey. Sparkle serves single moms. We're based in San Francisco Bay Area. We have footprint in LA, Sacramento, and now Phoenix. So we are expanding, and we serve single moms in a few different ways. One is our holiday gift drive. One is our enrichment scholarship program, where we fund extracurriculars for children of single moms. And then our most favorite, newest thing is our microloan program for single moms that want to start or grow their businesses. So we've, over these 9 years, raised over $2.5 million, given it all back out to the community. Just a bunch of like really badass women. We have one guy on our board, so we do give him some kudos. But we're just a bunch of people that want to do good and serve our community, and that's what we do.
That is absolutely amazing. Yes, I was following your, like, is it 32-day drive? And like y'all just finished that, so I know y'all are like exhausted, but it's such an amazing thing you guys are doing, and the impact I can just, all over. And I heard you say like you're expanding. Talk about the expansion. Like if someone wanted to, like, here's this, and it's like, I want to do that here. Like I'm already like, well, how can I get involved? I'm in Arkansas. Like how can someone get involved if they're interested, donating or expanding or whatever for Sparkle?
Fleece, you take
Well,
that one.
we always are looking for donations, of course, but what would be really cool is to have new chapters if someone is really interested in serving this particular community. And we are very focused, we are very mission driven, and our mission is to serve single mothers and their children. And I found myself a very unexpected and unwilling participant of single motherhood many years ago when my then husband just decided that wasn't the life he wanted after all, I guess. And, all of a sudden found myself as not only a single parent, but a solo parent with 2 littles, living in one of the most expensive counties in the country, and trying to, maintain this. We established a 2 income life, and now all of a sudden I'm having to do it on my own, and wanting to set this up so my kids don't feel the impact of that, right? Like they're just victims of circumstance, and it shouldn't be on them, and it's tough. And single mothers, honestly, I'll speak from experience, we are the last ones to ever ask for help. We When we're outside, everything is great and cheery and awesome, and behind closed doors you are breaking down into tears every night because you don't know how you're going to pay for soccer tomorrow. And it's a really weird, unfortunate place to be. And so we are very mission driven in that. And to expand to new areas would be fantastic. What we look for is someone who really wants to be the boots on the ground and really get it going in their community. We have sort of the support and the plan, and we built what works. And always looking for people who want to serve that community in their area, and then be the point person for that group.
We have the Sparkle in the box, as we call it.
Yes, yes.
Kind of like a franchise. It just pops in, right? The biggest thing is getting the volunteers, and obviously, it typically, depending on how many families they want to serve, whether it's Christmas or enrichment, there's obviously some fundraising components that go into it. But the right person, it makes sense. Like Phoenix, Angelus jumped in, and she has just been such a Wonder Woman in that area. That I feel Phoenix is going to grow into probably 2, maybe 3 expanded areas, because there's a lot in Arizona. But I think maybe you ladies might be next.
I mean,
yeah, I've already
I'm
been
sitting here,
planting that
wheels.
seed.
Yeah, I mean, wheels are spinning. I mean, that pulls at my heartstrings because my mother was a single mom, and I watched her struggle to give me and my sister everything. And I look back and go, God, Brooke, you were such a bitch. Cause I was a cheerleader. I needed the things. I wanted to do all the things my friends were doing. And I can't imagine what she did. And like you said, behind closed doors and breaking down, that pulled at my heartstrings because it just made me
want to
think,
cry hearing you
God
talk.
damn it. Why would you make me cry?
We're only 24 minutes into it.
I know, but when you were saying that and you go behind closed doors and so I never saw my mom cry. I didn't. And so I'm like, but I know that she did. And so I just pictured her doing that, and that touched me. So, that's an amazing thing.
I remember too, when I came to your high tea in San Francisco, which was absolute, like I was, I love events. I do events, but I went there and I was like, okay, this is an event on steroids. Like, this is the most amazing thing that I've ever been
We
to.
don't do anything half-assed, Casey.
Oh my God. Like, all the glitz and glam. Like, we go through this beauty suite. We're getting all this free product. Like, everybody's dressed up. It was so amazing. But I felt like what was so powerful is when you guys did this activity where you had every person that's been touched by or knows a single mother in their life stand up. And at the end of that, like, every single person in the room stood up.
That was Fleece's speech. She's like, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, I think it's great. I think it's
Yeah,
perfect.
I still remember that. Like, I remember, like, the first question, there was a few, and then a few more. And then by the time you were done, like, every single person in that room was standing up because they know a single mom or has been touched by one or just the ripple effect
or was raised by one or is one. And it's very prevalent in the community. And you think about the struggles that these women are going through, and they're not only responsible for, their children financially, but the emotional growth of their children, the physical growth of their children. Like it goes far beyond just the dollars and cents, but the emotions and the roof over their head and the food on the table and all of that has a direct impact on the children, our next generation. So if we're not helping the moms who are raising our next generation, what the fuck are we doing?
Right.
Mic drop. I mean, hello.
Exactly.
And the coolest thing about the gift drive that we just had was like all of these kids that come and help wrap, and go deliver the gifts for other kids and bringing them into this situation to like realize doing good feels so good on every different level. But Sparkle is a movement. It really is. And it's much bigger than us, which is amazing. But it does, single moms are definitely the most underserved category, hands down.
100%. And they're the people, and like you said, like with all these kids coming, like my mom was the biggest impact on my life. Like I saw it, I watched it, and she told me, because she didn't have an education, she was from a very small town. She did the best she could do. She was working at a bank as a teller, but she told me, she said, don't ever put yourself in a position where you can't get out. Like, you do the work, put in the work. And I think that's why I worked so hard. I'm like, so no one could ever take that away from me. And I just, she is, when I like, who's your biggest, I'm like, she is my biggest influence and inspiration. And she's at my corner, my secret keeper, like your mom, like that's like GOAT, right? So you guys are like spreading the love and
Here I am crying again.
It is GOAT, but I think a lot of us don't, myself included, a lot of us don't really fully grasp the impact of GOAT as mom is GOAT until we are adults and doing it ourselves. And you look back and you're like, shit, I know we didn't. I mean, my mom was a single mom, and I know we didn't have a lot growing up, but I also know that I didn't ever really feel like I went without. Okay, I didn't get the horse I wanted. Okay, but like in the scheme of life, I didn't ever really feel like I went without. And sometimes I sit here and wonder, like, how did she do that? How did she do that? And then
because
here
she
I,
went without,
very
so you wouldn't have
unwittingly
to go
found
without.
myself having to do the same for my children. Um, you try to have history not repeat itself, and sometimes history happens.
Yeah. Well, Brooke and I love asking our guests this question. What does fearless mean to you, ladies?
Ooh, fearless. What's it mean to you, Fleece?
Um, I don't think fearless is the absence of fear. I think fearless is the ability to face it. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to have fear. But to be able to hit it head on and move forward with it, that's fearless.
I think fearless is getting uncomfortable. And when you're uncomfortable, it's where all the juicy stuff is. I tend to be living in the fearless zone a lot, getting uncomfortable a lot, making Fleece do weird things that she doesn't
Yes,
even know.
yes, facts.
But like living in that zone, look at the impact that you are both making in this world. Like it's just phenomenal. And you're just getting uncomfortable, doing the things, going big, going hard, and making huge waves. Like I'm in Utah and Wyoming, Brooks in Arkansas, and we're feeling that from you guys in California.
Which means we're doing something right. But I mean, you're
Did
doing
we
it
just
too.
become best friends? Because
did.
I feel like
I
we have.
mean, I met Casey
I love you guys so much.
through a girlfriend of hers, and she was having an event, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. And I met Brooke, and I got to meet all these incredible women. And I think a little bit of being fearless is maybe back to that uncomfortable thing, but like saying yes to stuff, putting yourself at the table to meet new people, to surround yourself with like kind and like quality. I think the power of women is so dynamic. And I'm just like, even, and then you came out to our event, which was great. So here we are. And yes, we are best friends forever now.
Yeah, and honestly, staying within your four walls, staying within your cave, that's not where it happens. So we gotta get out there. We gotta get uncomfortable. We gotta just face it. And if you go head on into it, you get through it faster, right? Like, I don't know if you guys ever heard the story about the buffaloes, where like when a storm comes, like all the animals run away from the storm. The buffaloes will run into the storm. But if you think about it, they're fucking smart, because if you run into the storm, you're going to get to the other side of it faster than everybody who goes the other direction and waits for it to pass over. So we all need to be buffaloes.
Well, and if you don't take risks, then you don't want to be like, I wish I would have. But also understand that it's not always peaches and strawberries. Like Fleece and I aren't sitting here saying we're fearless and it always works out, because there are plenty of times
Nope.
it doesn't work out.
Nope.
And we're like, "Ah, that was a bad one." And it's, what did you learn from it to make it not happen again? So if it keeps happening, then you're like, okay, maybe there's something we need to augment. But I believe, trials, tribulations are what give you those tiger stripes that make you the badass that you're supposed to be.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is stay scared shitless all the time.
All the time.
Got it.
Yes, honestly, the tragedy is not what you go through. The tragedy is if you don't learn from it and grow from it. So, be okay going through some tough times and take away something that makes you better.
Well, and as mothers, our kids are young girls. I mean, I've got 2 girls. They're watching everything we do. And, those rooms of all those kids coming in to wrap, I mean, they're watching all of us all the time. And, if we're not showing them that it's okay to step in the cow pie and fall off the cliff and get back up. I mean, that's what life's about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tell us, where we can follow you, where others can find you, how they can subscribe, like all the things, like brain dump, just all the things so we can connect people to you.
So we've got our podcast is we are InspiHER'd on Instagram, and in InspiHER'd is how it is. We're on all major platforms. We have over 200 and I think 10 episodes. We start recording again in January. We're gonna have you two on, so buckle up, ladies.
We might have to do an
Um,
extended episode.
I know it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have an event for InspiHER'd. We never actually formally launched our podcast, so I think 25 might be the year.
5 years in, it's probably time.
I mean, why not? And then Sparkle Foundation, you can find us on, all the socials, but it's just Sparkle_Foundation on Instagram, and you can see all of our shenanigans. I believe our next big thing we're going to do is Mother's Day boxes. We're going to try to fund 2 microloans. Did you hear that, Stacey?
I did.
2.
I'm okay with it.
And we'll do Christmas again, and God only knows how many families I'll swindle in there. So where else, Fleece? Where else?
Our personal Instagrams, also a lot of fun videos, silliness. I suck at videos, if I'm going to be honest, but I put them out there anyway. And yeah, we'd love to connect. This is the beauty of social media, is the ability to connect across the country, across the world, like to many that people that we would never reach otherwise. And we are always down with meeting new people, connecting with new people. Really, any opportunity we can to support women and what we're doing to change the world, we're for it. So we're your team. Reach out.
Well, I cannot thank you guys enough. Like, I'm seriously like so inspired by you two. You're such trailblazers. Like, Casey and I are looking at you and going, "Oh my gosh, like 200 episodes. Like, are we ever going to be there?" Like, that
Yes,
is
you
how
are.
they do it. And they're business women too, and they're moms, and and they have this amazing foundation. You're just kicking ass, and I know it's not always easy. I know that's the iceberg. Like, everyone sees just all the good. I know you are working your asses off and you're tired and you're exhausted, but I know you're also like, it's worth it though. And we just thank you so much for being a part of our podcast and coming on today and getting to, hear and share all the things, all the wonderful things that you're doing, and just being your authentic self. Like, that means so much to us. And I know everyone listening too. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thanks for tuning in to Fearless and Focused. Remember, success is not about being perfect. It's about showing up, staying bold, and taking action.
If you love this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could use a little inspiration.
Keep chasing your dreams, staying fearless, and keeping your focus strong.
Until the next time, stay
Fearless and focused.